Talking Shirts is presented in partnership with White Oak Cottage. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome to episode number 135 of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike of Hull KR Shirts, and today we're going to take a look at this 2017 third shirt, fondly known by the 135 shirt. Yes, I'm sure you can see what I've done there. Episode number 135, the 135 shirt. It was just a match made in heaven. It was the only one I could possibly do for this episode of Talking Shirts, and just a lovely little pun and play on words there when it comes with connecting the shirt to the episode. But I like to try and be as relevant as possible when I deliver these visual kit reviews. So yeah, this 135 shirt, this one here, this one was match issued to Adam Quinlan for the 2017 season, and it's a shirt that for me is a really good design. 2017 we had three kits. We had the home, the away, and then the third shirt being this one. Thought the home was amazing. It was great. It was so good. This one, excellent. Really happy with it. The away shirt, not so keen on personally. But anyway, we're going to really tie in with the 135 shirt here in this episode of Talking Shirts. As you can see, the design of the shirt was taken from the club's centenary crest. That was released in the mid to early 80s, sort of 82, 83 time. And this was an anniversary crest which has kind of come synonymous with the club, really. And it was given a bit of a reboot for the 2017 season, which you can see on there. The word mark acronym of HKR that appeared in the middle of the anniversary crest has been replaced with a 135 to celebrate the 135th anniversary of Hull KR. This is probably the biggest criticism that I've seen collectively over the fact that this shirt doesn't actually say Hull KR or Hull Kingston Rovers anywhere on it. Visually, to look at it, if you're not sort of associated with the club, you might not even recognise it from the design as being a Hull KR shirt either. So there is elements of criticism that come with that, and I kind of get it. It doesn't massively bother me because I know what it's about, and I've always said I do things for an audience of one in that sense. But I feel like if you wanted to sort of reach the masses, then yeah, it probably did need to have some sort of name or acronym or word mark or something on there to sort of really sort of like boot home that it is a Hull KR shirt. If we talk about the design, as I've said, the design comes from the crest. So if you look at that anniversary crest, or if you look at the crest that is on the 135 shirt, you can see that we've got the red at the top that then bleeds into this really sort of like tealy, bluey, greeny dark colour that then does flow down, and we have got these waves underneath, which are in bold red with yellow bands on either side. We've got three of those that go all the way across. And then we have got this lovely addition of the hem at the bottom there, which is also in yellow, which is a really good just finishing move in terms of just closing the bottom of the shirt off nicely. If you look around to the crest, it's got piping all the way around that, and this at the bottom of the hem there, that really does sort of tie in with that as that nice little finishing touch to the shirt. The collar at the top here, we have kind of got this in a two-tone. We've got the tealy green, and then we have got the yellow that goes all the way around there. Both of those, again, feature quite prominently across the shirt, across the crest, and across that design. And it's not often a thing that I like, having a two-toned collar, but on this occasion, I think it works really well. The sponsors that are appearing on here, these are brands and businesses which supported the club during the relegation to the Kingstone Press Championship. These are guys that really did stand behind the club when they were probably in need of revenue, probably for the biggest time in the 21st century. Everything that came prior to that in the 90s we're fully aware of, and obviously, in the 2010 or the 2010s, if you like, this was probably sort of a really key moment in time. If the club didn't bounce back in 2017, would we have continued? What would have happened? Would we be where we are now? No, probably not. It's all hearsay, ifs and buts, and we'll never quite know. It's almost a sliding doors moment, if you like. But yeah, it's really impressive of these guys to stick behind the club in what was a really big time of need. So yeah, give them a few of my shout outs. So we've got the IRS logo that features in its natural colourway, which is actually black and white looking at it on here. We have got Hull Angling Centre.co.uk with a fish on. That features in their colourway. We have got the X-Blades branding that features in white on the red. Looks really good. And then we have got the University of Hull, a shirt sponsor who was featured across the front of this shirt, but they have also featured as a sleeve sponsor for the 2023, 24 and 2025 25 seasons. So yeah, it's really nice to be able to see that those guys have been a long-standing partner of the club as well. So that's the front of the shirt. Let's have a little look at these sleeves here. We will do both because there's two different sleeves on here. So the first thing that you notice when you look at this is that the design from the front of the shirt, the design from the crest, it actually continues onto the sleeve as well. So it starts off with the red, and then we do kind of skip the tealness and the big sort of broad tealness, through the middle there. And we do go straight into these waves. So we do just have two on these sleeves here. And then above that, we have got the sponsorship of Bright and Paintwork Express. This shirt did come out partway through the 2017 season. So this one actually has everything dye sublimated into it because they had the ability to be able to do that on the plain shirts, which they don't always have. So yeah, that works out really, really well. And then we have got another one of these yellow sort of finishing hems at the on the cuff there, which is a really, really nice touch. Let's have a look at this other sleeve. So this is where we find the competition patch. We have also got the Heta branding. Those guys did sponsor us quite a bit through this era, 17, 18, 19. So yeah, quite a few years worth of a sponsorship deal going on with those guys. Again, dye sublimated in. And then underneath that, we've got the Kingstone Press Championship branding. That, once again, has been dye sublimated into these shirts. There hasn't been a patch that's been ironed on over the top. This shirt was used in just 4 games. So it's, yeah, it didn't necessarily need that. But yeah, it's a wonderful touch there, just to kind of finish that off nicely. And again, we have got these yellow cuffs, which I absolutely love. So that's been the front and the sides. We're going to have a quick break now, and then we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about the shirt, a little bit about Adam Quinlan, and we'll power through.
White Oak Cottage is a 2-bedroom luxury holiday cottage set in the stunning Lincolnshire Wolds. It has 2 ensuite bedrooms, a hot tub, wood burner, Wi-Fi, electric vehicle charger, and is pet friendly. It is ideally situated in the Wolds, yet only 15 miles from the coast and 25 miles from the historic city of Lincoln. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome back to part 2 of episode number 135 of Talking Shirts. Before the break, we was talking our way around Adam Quinlan's 2017 third shirt, and we're now going to continue with the reverse. So looking at the back here, the design elements from the front, they all continue onto the back of this one. So we start with the red, blending into that tealy greeny colour that then flows down into these waves. Again, it's a sort of a replication of that crest that we've spoken about, the anniversary crest. That does continue in terms of the design element on the back. It's not always that we see that carry over, but because of the way that this shirt has been designed, it's completely clear in the middle of the back of the shirt. There is no obstruction there in terms of where the name goes or the number. This dividing line where it goes from red into teal, that's almost perfect to be able to line up a name and a number underneath that. A really good aid there for a kitman, which I'm sure that Bones will have been really, really happy about. The sponsors that feature on the back of here, we've got East Yorkshire Shutters, again a company who are renowned for supporting the club for many, many years. We've got the Aspire Academy, again another sponsor who has been featuring across a lot of Hull KR shirts over the years, as has Joinery Depot that features on the bottom here of this 2017 third shirt. So as you can see, we've got Quinlan and squad number 1 on the back of here. This shirt was issued to Adam Quinlan. I believe it was highly likely to have been worn as well. I feel like the game that it was worn in was the Widnes game at Craven Park. The Ryan Shaw try is probably what that game will be most fondly remembered for. The game which did seal the Super League status for Hull KR in the 2018 Super League season. A wonderful afternoon. One of the sort of memorable Craven Park memories that I have. Even sort of 8 years later, it's something that you think back of as a moment and a moment in time that as a supporter, why you go to games, you want to witness these things, these occasions, and that was certainly one of those occasions all the way back in 2017, which put us onto the path of what we have achieved in 2025 and hopefully beyond. Let's have a little bit of a word about Quinny. Interesting fact about Adam Quinlan, he's the only player to play for Hull KR who has a surname that starts with the letter Q. Didn't actually realise that until I started doing a little bit of research for this episode, so yeah, nice little fun fact for us there. Quinlan, he was squad number 1 for the 2017 season. It was his first of 5 seasons in East Hull with Hull Kingstone Rovers. He played all the way through till the end of the 2021 season. And if we'd have known at the start that that we were going to get 5 seasons out of him, I think we'd have been really happy with that. I think the slight disappointment comes in that when you look at those 5 seasons, he did only play 68 games, which isn't a massive amount of games. If you divide that up by 5, you're probably looking at around 13, 14 a season or something like that, which isn't really enough for somebody who's taken up a quota spot, who is probably a decent earner at the club. We probably didn't get 100% value for money in terms of the quantity of appearances, but when this guy was on the pitch, he certainly made a difference. He scored some absolutely fantastic tries, 34 in total, so he was averaging a try every other game, which is a really good ratio. Obviously boosted a little bit by the fact that we did have a season in the Championship, but still, he did score quite a lot of tries during his Super League appearances too. Quinlan, he only ever wore the number 1 for Hull KR. He was our number 1 for the 5 years that he was at the club. So he kind of made that number his own sort of through the later part of that decade before he did eventually leave us at the end of the 2021 season. So that's been Adam Quinlan. It's been a little bit of a tour around this 135 shirt. I will just throw a couple of bit more stats and information your way with regards to this shirt. So we wore it 4 times during the end of that 2017 season. We wore it against London at Craven Park. We wore it against Halifax at Craven Park. We wore it against Widnes in the game that we were just referring to, also at Craven Park. And then we did wear it in the final game of the Mid-Lake Series away at Warrington. And that game was the only time that we didn't actually win wearing this shirt. It was maybe believed to be a little bit of a lucky shirt, the way that we'd kind of flowed through some of those games. Originally, the idea was to wear specific shorts for this kit, which was going to be in the exact same design. I'll pop some pictures up where you can see the shorts. If you look really closely, you can actually see that those shorts are a little bit tight. They wore them in the first game against London, and the sizing was just completely wrong. The restrictions to them whilst playing was not ideal. So it was actually agreed that we would then wear the away shorts. So the short that was designed to go with the away kit, we actually wore those for the remaining 3 games where we did actually wear this shirt. So it's not too often in rugby league that we get a little bit of a mashup of kits in terms of what's been available to us. Normally you would just wear your full home kit, your full away, your full third. However, we did actually mix a couple of those up, which, as I've just mentioned, is a rarity in rugby league. It's quite a big thing in football. A good friend of mine, Les at Hull City Kits, he uses the term mash up all of the time because the Hull City, they do often use amber shorts instead of using their generic black ones when it comes to sort of various away trips and things like that. So it was quite interesting to have seen something like that happen in rugby league that doesn't happen too often at all. If you can think of any other examples, please send them my way, because I love to hear all of these little kit stories and things like that. I find it really, really interesting. So that's everything for episode number 135 of Talking Shirts. So we've gone over the 135 shirt as well. So just a little bit of a pun there from my behalf. Hope you've enjoyed watching this episode. Check back in another couple of weeks' time, where I'll be back with a brand new episode of Talking Shirts. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.